So probably the most obvious change is this. This was the kind of veranda bit of our classroom, and we've glazed it. So someone gave us a load of 8mm shower screens, and we've put them to good use. I think this is my favourite change. I've been dying to do this for years, and I'm really pleased with the way it's turned out. So I'll have a quick look inside. The design's kind of nicked from, it's very earthshippy, and I like the look. But and it has irrigated planters in here. So we have these planters which have gravel in the bottom, and they're connected by tubes. So we maintain a water level in there, and it keeps those beds nice and moist. And what we'll do is we'll have rainwater coming in this end, and then there's an overflow the other end, so it'll always keep the water level right. Made of larch, as usual. I've used OSB inside because it's the only thing I could find that I can afford to actually line it with. This time it's properly weather tight, so I pay real attention to detail, and it's windproof. So when it's windy outside, it's completely still in here. It's brilliant, and it keeps the room behind just a million times warmer than it was because we're not getting any drafts. So that's the biggest change, I think. We've moved, used to be some solar panels here, put them on the roof of the stables, on the hay barn rather. And other changes we made, we decided to make more of what we've got. So these solar panels were lying pretty much flat on the floor, and jacking them up on some frames has doubled their output basically. And you can't really see them from in the garden because the hedge hides them. And then from out here they kind of provide a fence to, give privacy from prying eyes. Wind turbine, we made the wind turbine 6 meters taller as well while we were at it. That was a whole saga, but it was nice to get it done, and again it works much better now. Just about to bring the last of our firewood round to the shed to put it in. Another thing we really wanted to do was make use of an area that we've just never known what to do with. We've grown potatoes in it, we've kept chickens in it, we've done all sorts of stuff in it. And it's this bit. And we decided that because we didn't really have that much privacy at the back there next to Birch Cottage, that we have this place. Tractors notwithstanding, this is our place, if you like. And we'll sit spot at the top, the path coming down, plant all this up, and then we dug a new pond at the bottom. Nice big pond, which is still settling in. I did it with a digger this time. And then we've got the roundhouse next to it. So this whole kind of garden area is private. And that was quite a big job. And then started doing something to the roundhouse, but haven't finished it yet. And now down here in the vegetable garden, there have been some fairly big changes. Now what we did this year was we fenced the veg garden off properly, so it's kind of animal proof. No dogs, no chickens, nothing gets in here unless it's supposed to be in here. We were lucky to get lots more wood chip, so we've wood chipped the paths, made it far more manageable. So this was always our potato patch, but now it's a manageable potato patch. Also taken a lot of the willow down to sort of waist height from 8 foot high. Big pond, just a bit happier now. And then this. Now we took out a couple of not very happy and unproductive plum trees for this tunnel, and it was a used tunnel that we got from somewhere else, and we recovered it. and now it's flying. So again, no dig, we just built up our own compost mainly that we made here, lots of wood chip, so there's plenty of salads down the far side there, lots of tomatoes. Claire's been working really hard getting the tomatoes sorted, so this year they've all been side shooted, they're all growing up strings, it won't turn into chaos. Some sweet corn and beans and things. But we put a pond in. We have millions of frogs, it's brilliant. They've all kind of grown up and left home now, but they're around, and hopefully they're working on our slug population. But the pond's been a real success, and it keeps the humidity up a bit. We get very dry soil here because it drains so well, and actually just keeps the moisture levels up a bit. It feels like it. Here, got lots of garlic. All the greens are out. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've still got 5 beds to clear and plant out there, but it's coming. There's a lot of stuff here. Beans. Rhubarb's doing very well as usual. Onions up here. We built this. We've got a proper composting shed right at the beginning of the first lockdown, actually. So we've got 4 bays, and we make compost in the first bay. After a while we turn it to the second bay, then the third bay, and so on. So there's a second bay that's had a lot turned into it. It's been covered, and we're now filling up this one again. And we're producing amazing amounts of compost. It gets properly hot. We've got a thermometer, we're trying to do it right. Monitor it, make sure it stays hot, then turn it, and then reheat it again, and it breaks down so quickly. So back up to one small tunnel, which is much happier this year. It's got a peach in it now as well. Lots of strawberries. We went big on strawberries this time, and salad. We need to crack on and get a lot of salad harvested because it's getting big, and there's lots more stuff coming. This is our kind of potting tunnel now. Again, we put a decent sort of bench up. Manage everything. And our big tunnel, which is lots of calendula, it's doing okay. We're kind of spread out a bit. It's Beric the cat, and last year we had a disastrous year for grapes. Frost came at the wrong time. Things are looking a bit better this year. I'm hopeful. We did some big pruning in here. We had an apricot tree in here that was should have been a dwarf, wasn't a dwarf, and took over. So it's come out, although it is sprouting down here. And our peach is a more kind of manageable size. Hopefully it's going to produce something this year. Some lovely poppies in here. So that's our updates to the garden. If you've seen the previous video, from last year, you'll note that across the road we began planting up some native trees and some apples, and we're just going to take a quick look and see how those are doing. It's come on really well too. Something we've done this year, we've been much more careful. We're keeping the grass under our apple trees shorter. We didn't get many apples last year, but lots of them, if they fell on the ground, the grass was long, it just vanished. The bottoms of the trees got smothered. The potatoes are doing quite well. Again, another piece of hedge that we kind of hacked down just to let more light in. It got very dark, and I think that really hit the growing last year. Quick look across the road. So here it is. And you can see that these are older. They're all well up now. And it is quite overgrown, but it's okay. Yeah, these are all getting cover. We've got our apples in. There's an apple there. Another one there. This year we've been very careful to mark and label them so we know what they are. They're all properly staked, so they grow straight. Was something we didn't do before, was stake them properly, and then they kind of grew a bit wonky and they weren't so strong later on. But these are all doing okay. This feels pretty happy. Our big circle in the middle that we're going to keep wood in. We grew a spiral in this year. We mowed it into a spiral, and then down here we've got our kind of bee area where we're going to put our beehives. We're growing willow in here, and we're this little area here. This will give them a bit of cover, and we just keep this mowed. It's all looking quite happy. Yeah, it's the beginnings of a good forest garden, and I think this time next year you'll really see a difference in the trees. Till then.